Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. I'm not dead. I'm not locked away anywhere. It's just been a rough last while since we've done a video together. Uh, seeing doctors to make sure everything's going okay, to taking care of other family members. I moved a family member in with us, or I was moving them in with us, and my grandmother took him from me and moved him in next door. So I consider us being moved in when it seems like the only thing that separates the two houses is just an address. But been very busy. Uh, Trying to fix Grandpa's truck. Uh, it decided to have all of the problems all at once, and most of it I can do on my own, but I have finally hit a point where I still technically can do it on my own, but it is going to take way too much time to deal with. Um, but once it's fixed and it's all said and done, we'll do some prepping videos on setting it up as a bug out vehicle. I really am setting it up more for like overlanding. Oh, where did I drop that? Setting it up for overlanding, but it's a good thing about the things that I enjoy is there's a lot of overlap. So when it comes to prepping, a lot of the stuff that I have planned out for the vehicle, it's going to serve two purposes. So I think we'll be good there. The chicken coop is nearly finished. It got way too hot this summer after working my summer job at the scout camp, so I never really finished it. And I did a live stream on Rumble, and I talked about some of this stuff. I'm gonna make sure both of this video gets uploaded to both platforms. But just as an update, have bought a little bit of ammo, have bought some food, have bought some medical supplies, have bought more magic cards, planning out rain catchment and all this other stuff. I just haven't done a good job at documenting these things. So we'll talk about it now. Counting my pocket change that I save up, because I'm recording this on top of the coffee cup that I fill up with change, and trying to decide what prepping stuff I'd like to purchase. The next thing I plan on getting is a plate carrier. I want to use it for my workouts, and I also want to use it, for prepping. The idea of being a Minuteman. But I can show this. This was a recent purchase. And I think it pretty heavily involves prepping. The AC is loud. So, y'all know I have a treadmill. I walk on it nearly every day. But the newest, I guess, prepping buy was this full body workout machine that, yes, my cats are absolutely destroying it. But I've got plans for new covers already and making it scratch resistant, and I'm hopefully convincing them not to tear it up any more than it's already torn up. And that can kind of be the basis of this video. And that's what I've been doing workout wise. Sitting here on the couch, I've got my ruck, and I'm currently up to carrying 60 pounds in it on our 2 mile walk that we do 2 or 3 times a week. This little bitty backpack that I have here, it's a nice day size, um, good for, maybe 10 miles of walking. And inside of it, got a 15-pound dumbbell. That's how I've been increasing my pull-ups. I think doing pull-ups is important. I think doing body weight exercise is important. So hopping on the treadmill with any type of extra weight. And I never realized that Go Ruck has a calculator on their you just type in like rucking calorie calculator, and I think Go Ruck is the first one that pops up. It's not completely accurate. Oh, it got dark. Turn off all the lights in the house. It's not like 100% accurate, because when you put in how much you weigh, it doesn't have the ability to take into consideration how much fat and muscle you have. But those workout sessions that I've been doing are burning about 450 calories a session. Mostly because where I'm at, a lot of that is heavily uphill. Pretty good distance. I'm also pushing my cousin up the hills. He's the one that came up here with us. He's in a wheelchair. We're building up his strength. We're getting better and better. But I don't think it's physically possible for him to be able to continue to get himself up that hill with the current equipment that we're working with. Nothing against him. He's definitely getting stronger. I know I'm definitely getting stronger. Being able to do 3 sets of 10 pull-ups with about 17 pounds on your back. I don't even think I was doing that in college. 2-mile run time is down below 14 minutes again. Some of this has come from planning out a great workout week, and other times when I just feel like the work week has been long and miserable, and especially when I have to mow. Got a decent sized yard to mow. Also have my grandmother's yard to mow. That's a fairly lengthy activity to do. I don't slap the ruck on. On those days, I'll typically do 100 push-ups before I go to bed, and I'll call that good. That do 100 push-ups for 30-day challenge. What I can tell you about those is it's great if you need something to motivate you to work out. You are going to get stronger. At some point, you will hit a plateau. Unless you are timing how long it takes you to do the 100 push-ups, and you're lowering that time. And or you're working on getting it done in the least amount of sets as possible. And I would say after that 30 days, you've got it down to 3 or 4 sets, or you're doing it in under 3 minutes, maybe under 2.5 minutes. You're working out, you're increasing your heart rate, you're moving muscles. At that point, You need to add weight. You need to put yourself into a decline and keep doing it. Eventually, you need to kind of start thinking about hand placement, moving further in, further out, rotating your hands into a diamond position, maybe making them more explosive. There's dozens of different ways to do push-ups. I bring that up with all of this to say you don't need the fancy equipment. I was very happy I was able to purchase that full body workout machine. Um, me, the wife, and the cousin have all used it. Um, it's like 45 days old, and it probably already has 30 hours of use on it, if not more. If you find yourself in a position with prepping where you feel like you've plateaued, in this economy, it feels like it's problem after problem after problem, and you're not putting anything back anymore. You're not making big ticket purchase items. A fallback can be, my prepping for today is I'm working out. I am bettering myself. I remember in the Walking Dead comics, they get to the prison, and the prison's got workout equipment, and there's one of the guys is talking about how he hasn't even thought about working out since this whole thing started, and dude beefs up again, gets even stronger than he was before, using free time that he was able to have to better himself. I'm a firm believer that, we'll be forged in fire with whatever we have to deal with, and, you're going to, sink or swim kind of thing. But I think it would be better to be in a best physical shape that you can possibly be in before the thing starts, because that's going to make you that much more of an asset. And if you're watching this video and, I have an issue with overweight people that aren't doing anything to better themselves. You're continuing to add weight. You're continuing to get bigger. Because I feel like, it's not that I hate you as a person or anything, but I feel like you're wasting the life that was given to you. Because generally you're going to be more miserable, and like there's been studies done on this. You're going to be more miserable physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, all those different things. Your lifespan is shorter, and you're watching these videos, you want to get better prepared. It goes back to that prepping meme of the super fat guy that spent a bunch of money on stuff. He's got like a $5,000 AR, and he gets absolutely clapped by a really fit skinny dude that's got a $300 AR, and now the skinny dude's got a $5,000 AR. The better physical shape that you're in, the better chances you have of surviving whatever the thing is. It could very simply be there is flash flooding and you need to climb into a tree to survive. And I think it would be pretty crappy way to go that, it's you and 3 buddies. 2 of them climb up into the tree. They're able to escape the floodwaters. They deal with the ordeal of, waiting for it to recede and stop so they can get down or someone to come rescue them. they're stuck there from 10 hours to 50 hours. And you didn't make it because you couldn't get your big old butt up in a tree. There's no telling if they're going to make it or not, but they made it that little bit longer because they are that much more in shape. You have to get quickly away from some bad situation. And you're huffing and puffing going up a couple flights of stairs. You're not going to have a great time. You might not make it. If you're watching this, you're overweight, out of shape, haven't ever really been physically active, but you start, you're that much better of a person, in my eyes, than someone that's not. And that's not to say, I've got another cousin that I can think about. I don't think he's ever worked out in his life. He's just a tall, skinny dude. He's able to maintain his body weight, partially due to his metabolism, mostly due to the fact that, calories in, calories out. He's not eating enough to just put a whole ton of weight on. He doesn't really work out. The overweight person that is actively bettering themselves is a little bit above the skinny person that's just, that's their genetics, but they're lazy. Then we go up to the, you're a healthy weight and you're extremely physically active and you move up here and that's awesome. And then, way down here is the overweight person that's not doing anything to better themselves. And I didn't really feel bad for that person, not just from a prepping standpoint, but for everything else that I mentioned. These things are pretty good. So, get out there, start bettering yourself. If y'all want, I can make a couple of videos on just body weight workouts. I can also type in body weight workout on YouTube, probably do it on Rumble, and it's going to show tens of thousands of videos. I don't know an exact number, but I'm still trying to lose weight. I'm probably 7 or 8 pounds heavier than I need to be. And also with the shorts, I like the shorts on YouTube for the sole purpose of I don't want to watch you do the workout for 20 minutes and you wait to the very end and post the workout list. I like that they're doing the workout because for some people, they need that motivation to watch them in front of their living room and do the workout as they're doing it. The shorts, they're awesome. They show a highlight of them doing each of the movements and show the list really quick, 90 seconds or less. So start working out, make yourself better. Also, subscribe to the channel, follow me, share it with your friends and family. Do all those different things to help us out. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.